So I've just finished work. I cycled home. Lovely weather. Opened the door. Greeted my cat. Sat down in the bathroom, toilet. Did my deed. The seat's still warm from where my butt cheeks lay, just mere minutes ago. And as I was sitting down, I was just pondering in thought. Why is pooping seen as a humiliation ritual by society? It's a serious question. It's something that you should really think about. You know, these days people want to notice a lot of things, the noticer. But I feel like this is something people should really notice. Why? And ask. Discuss it with yourself. Seen as the gag of every joke you see in every big blockbuster Hollywood movie. The stomach starts to rumble. Oh, I gotta go. I gotta do something. You see, it's how it's stigmatized. They gotta go shit in the movie, but oh, this is awkward. I gotta shit. But it's just human nature. Dare I say, the way shitting is seen is even close to gooning. You know, instead of busting a nut, you're busting your butt cheeks to bring not life, but waste into the world. And that might be the reason why pooping is seen as such a negative thing in society. Yeah, I guess there's quite a few factors, such as if you look into the senses, like the six senses, smell, touch, feel. No, touch and feel is the same thing. I'm an idiot. Smell, touch, hear, all that stuff, taste. You know, the sound of shitting it's definitely not a pleasant one. When you hear it, you don't say, music to my ears. Well, some people do. Um, that's quite strange, but some people do. The smell of shit, it's not a very nice smell either. It's quite a rotten smell. You know, Again, it's not something you'd be like, that's a lovely smell. And obviously, well, I can't confirm this, but I doubt the taste is good either. Some people might be into that. Not my cup of tea, or not my bowl of shit, I should say. But, you know, these things come into factor why shitting is seen as so stigmatized and seen as like a humiliation ritual, you know? And as I was shitting, or pooping, I should say, I was sitting down and I was like, man, I'm the only one in the house at the moment. Everyone else is gone, besides the cat. And I was just letting it rip. And I was like, oh, this is a really nice feeling. There's nothing more satisfying than working a long day, working a hard shift at work. Well, I wasn't working too hard. Got to make sure I don't do too much, but I don't do too little. Just average. Don't want unnecessary stress. There's nothing more satisfying than working an averaged work level or an average workload at work to come home and just let it rip. It's satisfying. It's relaxing. Damn near one of the seven wonders of the world. It's a nice, relaxing routine. And as I was seeing it, I was like, man, why is this shit seen as so, I don't know, why is this act seen as so humiliating? Now, I guess there's also the position. You're in a quite vulnerable position. Like if, let's say if, six masked ninjas came at me, usually if I was just in a normal pose like this one, just relaxing here, I could easily take them on. But if I was in the pooping position, it would be quite difficult. And so it's seen as it's a sign of weakness. You're vulnerable while you're taking your shit. Now, not all poops are good poops. Sometimes you're just there for a long time and you're like, I could be doing so much more. I could be trading stocks, investing in gold, silver, Bitcoin. But no, I'm shitting. Well, I'm pretty sure you can do all that shit. You can do all that stuff while you're pooping, but you get the point. Now you could be doing a lot more. But I'm really asking myself, why is it that we frown so negatively towards the act of life, towards us, calm everything, everyday life, It's not like you can hide it, everyone does it. Obviously as a kid you believed that only the guys shitted, the girls didn't. They didn't even fart. They were just they were superhuman. But no, when the news was broken, you have to accept reality that no, they're just as normal as us, and they gotta do their number two and live it and live life. That's it. So you really gotta ask yourself all these factors. The position, the act of shitting itself, the senses, the smell, the sound, not pleasant. All these things come into factor why we view it negatively. But should we? That's the real question. Should we view such a satisfying act as negative? You could even compare it to childbirth. Childbirth isn't pretty. It's raunchy. Well, no, would you try it as raunchy? No, you try it as aggressive, yeah, because you're damn near screaming. Let's go Super Saiyan. You're screaming. It's hectic. It's fast. Well, no, it's quite slow actually. But the act is almost fast, and the baby just kind of like ploops out. Pretty similar to pooping, I would say. Yeah, we see as beautiful. You know, but I guess you're welcoming life, and as I've said, when you're pooping, you're welcoming waste into the world. So again, but still, you know, pooping is basically giving birth without the pain and the struggle. Well, no, there is struggle, pain for some individuals, but that's a diet problem. So it's a you problem, not a shitting problem. But again, I'm just put all these factors in my head and just questioning. Just notice things. Next time you turn on the TV, or not, who watches TV these days? Next time you turn on, you turn on your Netflix show, your favorite Netflix show, and you watch it, and you're like, they start making the fun of the guy who has a somewhat upset stomach, and he has to go to the bathroom, and it's seen as a humiliating act. Question yourself. Why is this the case? Should that person, that man, woman, or anything in between, be seen and mocked as they just perform a daily occurrence in life? Would you prefer if he huddled into the corner, scooted away slowly off screen with no one noticing to perform his act and get it done with? Or should he shit and be proud? Ask yourself that. Notice. Out of all things you want to notice in the world these days, that's something you should be noticing. Thank you.